Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for today's digital session for the subject Science and Technology Section B. On Saturday, we have completed with the discussion of textual exercise for chapter number 8, Useful and Harmful Microbes. Today, we are going to discuss the additional questions from this chapter and the textual activities. So, I request all of you in the beginning to sit with the textbooks and a pencil or a pen in your hands for writing down the additional questions. Let us begin with our today's session. The first additional question for this chapter is, what is rhizobial inoculation? What is rhizobial inoculation? The answer is on page number 9090 of your textbook. On page number 90, on the top only you can write this additional question, or you can copy it on page number 95. You have space below the textual exercise, and marking of the answers you can do in the textbook. And all these additional questions and the activities which I am discussing for every chapter, it should be completed in your notebook. Answer is on page number 90. Right on the top you can see one yellow colored block. In that block you will have the answer. Point number 1. Nowadays seeds are coated with rhizobial solution or powder before sowing. After sowing, rhizobia enter the plantlets. This is called rhizobial inoculation. This is a very important topic which they have not covered in the textual exercise. So I have included it as an additional question. I hope you have got the marking on page number 90. All the points are one below the other in that yellow colored block. Now we move to the next additional question. Give any 3 uses of lactobacilli. Page number 89, you have the answer. Page number 89, on the top you have again a block stating uses of lactobacilli. Refer that block. Inside the block you will see 5 uses. But my question is, give any 3 uses. So out of that 5 you can select any 3 and you can write in the notebook and study that 3. Various milk products like yogurt, buttermilk, ghee, cheese, shrikhand, etc. can be obtained by fermentation of milk. Lactobacilli fermentation is useful for large-scale production of cider, cocoa, pickles of vegetables, etc. Lactobacilli and some other useful microbes taken together are used to treat abdominal discomfort. Leavened fodder offered to domestic cattle like cows and buffaloes is fodder fermented with the help of lactobacilli. Point number 5. The lactobacilli fermentation process is used to make wine and some types of bread. So on page number 89, you have all these 5 uses. Out of the 5, you select any 3 and write. Our next additional question is, give the role and importance of rhizobium. Give the role and importance of rhizobium. Now this first point you will have on the same page, page number 89. Go to the last paragraph of that page. Second last paragraph, I would say. Second last paragraph, you can see the heading in the textbook, role and importance of rhizobium, page number 89 towards the bottom. Under role and importance of rhizobium, you will have the first paragraph, first line that you can mark as point number A. Rhizobium living in root nodules supply nitrates, nitrites and amino acids to that plant and in exchange get energy in the form of carbohydrates from it. Such a mutually beneficial relationship is called symbiosis. Point number 2, turn your page. Page number 90, very first line of the page. After harvesting a leguminous crop, the leftover roots and other plant parts are deliberately dumped in farm soil to maintain its bacterial population. Point number 3, right below it, Continue marking. The use of rhizobium has helped the farmers by reducing the expenses on chemical fertilizers and thus also has helped in lowering the adverse effects of chemical fertilizers on the crops. So here you can just modify the sentence which is given in the textbook. Little bit changes I have made over there. The use of rhizobium has helped the farmers by reducing the expenses on chemical fertilizers and thus also has helped in reducing or lowering the adverse effects of chemical fertilizers on crops. This is the role and importance of rhizobium. I hope all the three answers you have marked correctly. Now let us move to the next additional question. I think additional questions are over. Now we have the textual activities for discussion. As we do in all the chapters, all the activities I have not included. The selected ones I will discuss. Maximum of the activities I am covering. That activities only you are supposed to write in your notebook. So page number 88. Now page wise we are going to discuss the activities and hence I have told you keep your textbooks open. Page number 88. Towards the bottom of the page you have use your brain power. Use your brain power and three questions are there. All the three we are going to discuss here. The first one is, why do doctors advise you to have yogurt or buttermilk if you have indigestion or abdominal discomfort? If you have indigestion problems or abdominal discomfort, then doctors advise you to have yogurt or buttermilk. You have to answer or give reason for it. The first point is, yogurt contains bacteria which generally help in digestion. This bacteria are known as probiotics and are found in the digestive tract. This should be your first point. Now again I tell you that these are the points which I have obtained by making use of the textbook and the Google Net. If you have any other point in your mind, you can write it down. It should be logically and scientifically correct. Yogurt contains bacteria which generally help in digestion and hence doctors advise us to have yogurt. Point number 2, since yogurt and buttermilk is rich in protein content, it helps in improving the intestinal motion and reduces the pain. During abdominal discomfort, you have pain in the stomach which is reduced by yogurt and buttermilk. Point number 3. Useful microbes like lactobacilli is added to it, due to which it becomes healthy as it kills the harmful bacteria like Clostridium in the alimentary canal and help to improve our immunity. And hence doctors advise ... I have put, means it should be the question. Doctors advise you to have yogurt or buttermilk if you have indigestion problems. I hope you have followed the answer. Apart from this, if you have any other point in mind, you can write it down. So I think first question discussion is over. Let us move to the next question. Sometimes yogurt becomes bitter and froths up. Why does this happen? You might have observed curds, buttermilk. If you leave it unattended or for many days, it becomes bitter. Why? Due to excess of fermentation. So your first point is, sometimes yogurt becomes bitter due to excess fermentation by bacteria. You know, fermentation is the process of conversion of lactose, the sugar in milk, into lactic acid. But if this fermentation is in more amount than the required quantity, then the yogurt will become bitter. If the fermentation is excess, then more amount of lactic acid is produced and turns the yogurt bitter and froths up. This you might have experienced with curds or buttermilk at home. The very simple reasoning here is due to the excess fermentation, and due to this excess fermentation, the lactic acid is produced in large amount, due to which it makes your yogurt bitter and frothing up takes place. Next, question number 3. Which different milk products are obtained at home by the fermentation of cream from the milk? This depends on you. You know the number of milk products which are obtained by the fermentation of cream. Yogurt, paneer, ghee, shrikhand, buttermilk, etc. They are obtained at home by the fermentation of cream from the milk. 2 to 3 names which you know, they have told which are obtained at home. So whatever you can prepare at home, that names you have to include. Shrikhand and all, also some of the families during the festivals, they prepare it at home from the fresh cream from the market. So these are the different names. Apart from this, any other name you can add. See on the same page, page number 88, yellow colored block towards the bottom, you have what is meant by probiotic, yogurt and other foodstuffs that are popular nowadays. So answer is given there and there. So I have not included it as an activity. You also don't write it. They have given useful microbes like lactobacilli are added to this eatables. Such eatables are healthy because they kill the harmful bacteria like Clostridium in the alimentary canal and help to improve our immunity. So there only the answer is given. So that is not considered as an activity. For extra knowledge, you can just go through it. The next activity is on page number 89 under the heading Research. Page number 89, Research. Below the uses of lactobacilli paragraph. First one, how many different industries depend upon the lactobacilli bacteria? Now you know lactobacilli bacteria, they are mainly involved in the dairy industry. They help to convert the lactose in the milk to lactic acid. So all the dairy industries which are involved in the preparation of yogurt, curd, they will depend on lactobacilli bacteria. So A, first one is dairy industry which prepares yogurt, cheese, ghee, shrikhand, etc. You can just link. See, right above it on page number 89, you have the block of uses of lactobacilli. That uses you can just extract and here you can write which industries are dependent upon lactobacilli. Means indirectly it is the uses of lactobacilli. Second is production of cedar and cocoa industry. See point number 2 in the uses. That is why I have told you, just link that block and get the answer. Third, wine making industry. Last point if you see in the block. Fourth one, pickles industry. Again in the second point you will get pickles of vegetables. So this 4 I have written from the textbook itself, from the yellow colored block. Any other uses or the industries which depend upon lactobacilli, you can write on your own. Next one, which type of cottage industries and factories can be started in areas with abundant milk production? Now, in the area where there is ample amount of milk, abundance of milk, which type of industries can develop over there? The dairy industry, which manufactures yogurt, curds, your milk chocolates, such type of industries can be started. So that is your answer. Cottage industries like manufacture of milk products like cheese, ghee, paneer, shrikhand, curd and making of milk chocolates can be started in areas with abundant milk production. Means in the area where milk production is high, the amount of milk is high, the industries which involve the preparation of different milk products that can be started, like production of cheese, ghee, paneer or the milk chocolates. These are the different cottage industries which can be started in that particular area. With this, we complete with the discussion of activities on page number 88 and 89. Now just turn your page. Page number 90, if you see in the textbook, there are no activities. Page number 91, you have use your brain power. 3 questions. Out of the 3, only the second one I have taken, which is very simpler one. As I have told you, all the activities I won't make you write. Why are wineries located near Nasik in Maharashtra? If you just link your geography over here, you know Nasik from Maharashtra is a leading producer of grapes. And for wines, grapes are required. And hence this is the main cause why wineries are located near Nasik. So first point, almost half of the India's wineries are located in Nasik as it has soil and climate favorable for the production of grapes which are required for preparing wine. In Nasik, the soil and the climate is favorable for the production of grapes, and grapes are the main raw materials which are useful in the preparation of wine. That is my first point. Second point, glucose and fructose, the sugars present in grape juice, they are fermented with the help of yeast to produce wines. Hence, wineries are located near Nasik in Maharashtra. But the main reason over here is that grapes are produced on a very large scale in Nasik, and then to produce the wine, the glucose and fructose, the main sugars which are present in the grape juice, they are fermented. So for all this process, grapes are required, and that grapes are grown in large quantity in Nasik, and hence wineries are located near Nasik in Maharashtra. So on this page, we have only this one activity to write. Now turn your page number 92. Towards the bottom of the page, you have the activity, can you tell? Can you tell? First question is, which changes do you notice in leather articles and gunny bags during the rainy season? Which changes do you notice in the leather articles and gunny bags during the rainy season? You have experienced in the rainy season, when the amount of moisture is high in the atmosphere, the microscopic spores of fungi, they start germinating on this gunny bags, leather articles, and due to this, what you see some white discs or black colored powder on this leather articles or gunny bags. So your first point, during rainy season, leather articles get a deposition of fungus on them in the form of white discs or black powder. Gunny bags absorb the water and become heavy. You know, in the rainy season, there is large amount of water in the atmosphere. So first is, what you observe is the deposition of fungus. In the form of what? In the form of white discs or black powder. Gunny bags, if you see, they absorb the water and become heavy. Now you will write why. Because the fungal spores which are present in the air, on page number 93, very first line, you can just modify and write as the point. Fungal spores present in the air can easily grow on gunny bags, leather items like shoes, purse, belts, etc., causing them to wear and become weak. So this is the answer to your question. Which changes do you notice? So we have noticed the black powder or deposition of fungus. Why? Because in the rainy season, due to the moisture which is present in the air, the fungal spores, they start growing on all these items, making them very weak and causing them to wear. Next question. For how long afterwards can you use those articles? Once these articles are spoiled by the deposition of fungus, you know they start becoming weak. Wearing of the materials take place, and hence you cannot use it for a very long time. So these articles cannot be used for long after the deposition of fungus on them, as they wear out and do not last long. Once they get spoiled, then again and again, if you are using that different, you can see texture, and this smell also starts coming from these articles. They do not last long because they become weak, and hence you cannot use it for a long time after they are spoiled by the fungi. Very simple answers. So what I have done is, whatever concept is given in the textbook, that concept only I have made use of. Question number 3, can you tell? Same page. Why do these articles not get spoiled during the summer or winter? A very question where you have to think upon that. In the rainy season, we can see this deposition of fungus. Then why not these articles made up of leather, or you can say made up of gunny bags, they do not spoil during summer or winter? What is the type of climate during summer or winter? The climate is hot and dry, which do not favor the growth of fungi or microbes. That should be your first point. Microscopic spores of fungi can germinate if there is sufficient moisture, which is possible only and only in the rainy season. See, you can see on page number 93 in your textbook, very first line they have given. Microscopic spores of fungi are present in the air. If there is sufficient moisture, then spores will germinate on the cotton, gunny bags, etc. So, that should be your first point. Microscopic spores of fungi can germinate if there is sufficient moisture, which is possible only in the rainy season. What happens during summer or winter? Weather is very hot and dry, which is unfavorable for the growth of fungus. Fungus requires a lot of moisture for germination, for growth. But in the summer and winter season, the temperature, which is hot and dry, is not favorable for the growth of fungus. Even microbes cannot withstand the extreme hot or cold temperatures of summer or winter. The microbes which spoil all these things, they cannot withstand the extreme heat or the you can say cold climate which is there in summer and winter, and so these articles do not get spoiled during summer or winter. Main, you have seen even rusting of iron articles, it takes place mainly in the rainy season, because in the summer and winter season the microbes which spoil all this food, not food, you can say articles, the rusting for which moisture is required to combine with oxygen, it is possible only and only in the rainy season. In summer or winter when the temperature is very high, or in winter when the temperature is very cold, such temperatures do not support, do not favor the growth of microbes, so they do not grow, and hence these articles do not get spoiled during summer or winter. So we have completed with the discussion of activities on page number 92. Page number 93, if you see in your textbook, you have one question, think about it, that I have not included because the answer is given right below it. Sometimes you may notice a black powder or white discs floating on the pickle or murabba when a jar is opened after a long time. What exactly is this? Why are such food items not good to eat? So below that only you have the answer in the textbook. Various species of fungi grow on food items like pickles, jam, sauce, chutney, etc. They use the nutrients in these food items for growth and reproduction. During this activity, fungi release mycotoxins, certain poisonous chemicals into the food, and thus food becomes poisonous, and hence the food on which such fungi have grown cannot be eaten. So the answer is given to that particular question then and there, and hence we will not write it as an activity, only you have to go through it. So on page number 93 you do not have any activity. Page number 94 you have towards the bottom, use your brain power. So out of the 4 questions I have taken only the first 2. The first question is very simple. Salt is applied on the inner surface of pickle jars and the pickle is covered with oil. Why is it done? You might have seen your parents or grandparents putting a large amount of salt while making pickles, and even the pickles are covered. On the top of the pickle you will see the parents putting a lot of oil. Why it is done? Because salt and oil, if you see, they are the best preservatives. So your first point is salt and oil acts as a preservative. Applying salt on the inner surface of the pickle jars. See here, salt is applied on the inner surface of pickle jars. If especially your parents have to preserve the pickles for the entire year, then this salt application on the inner surface of the jar is done, and covering the pickle with oil prevents microbial growth in the pickle that derive its nutrition from the pickle and thus destroy it, turning the pickle bad. So if you have applied the salt and if your pickles are covered with oil, then both these preservatives won't allow the growth of bad microbes which are deriving the nutrition from the food, at the same time spoiling your pickles and other food items, and hence salt and oil is added. Very simple answer. Applying salt on the inner surface of pickle jars and covering pickle with oil prevents microbial growth in the pickle that derive its nutrition from the pickle and thus destroy it, turning the pickle bad. Now the last activity for discussion on page number 94, use your brain power. Second one, which preservatives are mixed with ready-to-eat foods to keep them from spoiling? The preservatives which are used to keep your ready-to-eat foods from spoiling. The first one you know is salt, then sugars. You buy the jams from the shop. They are ready to eat. They are in the ready to eat position. They are very sweet due to the addition of more amount of sugar. So these are all the names. Any other names from your side you can add. Common salt, sugar, citric acid, sodium benzoate, potassium nitrate, etc. are some of the preservatives mixed with ready to eat foods to prevent them from spoiling. So these are the two activities which we will discuss from page number 94. On page number 94 you have that chart in the beginning, the spread and prevention of disease. That chart you can just go through for the exam. With this we complete with the discussion of all the things for this chapter. We have discussed the textual exercise. I have given you the additional questions today and the activities from this chapter are also discussed. Now it's your time. There is a lot of time for your first online assessment. You have a week to go. So 2 to 3 days you just spare and complete your books on time. So later on the work will not be piled up. And coming Monday, through the practical video in your practical session, you will get the first practical for science section A, laws of motion, which is there in your journal on page number 2. So once you go through the video, you are requested to keep your journals completed. So coming Monday, you will get one practical from science section A. As I have told you, through the video I am going to inform you which practicals will be taken from my side and what you have to write. So coming Monday's video, that is today. In today's practical video, you will get the first experiment which you have to complete in your journal. So till then, I bid a goodbye to all of you. Stay at home, stay safe, and best of luck from my side to prepare yourselves for the first online assessment exams. Thank you, dear children.